For millennia, weapons such as swords, knives, bows, and daggers were the tools of choice for warriors around the world. They inspired both fear and fascination, and helped change the course of military campaigns. Today, we will know 17 of these lethal weapons of antiquity. Imagine learning something new every day without having to sacrifice your time to get it. The most important information is found in extensive books of several pages, and I understand that it can be frustrating, either because you are lazy to read, because you have children, or because your work demands a lot from you. Luckily today, this problem has an easy solution. With a catalog of more than 90,000 titles, Audible gives you the ability to consume your audiobook without an internet connection, wherever and whenever you want. Audible gives you a free audiobook every month with the monthly subscription, so it's the same as if you were buying a book a month. And best of all, if you cancel your monthly, the books will remain stored in your library forever. Win your first audiobook with the 1-month free trial in the link below in the description, and if you already have Amazon Prime, you will receive 3 months totally free. 1. Chukonu. The Chinese repeating crossbow known as chukonu is one of the most famous ancient weapons, predating even medieval European crossbows. It dates back to the 4th century BC. When Chinese engineers of that time managed to create a repeating crossbow that could fire up to 10 steel bolts for a short period of just 15 seconds. This level of Chinese ingenuity produced a more modern crossbow than its European peers that functioned as a semi-automatic weapon. By comparison, European crossbows of this period had to be reloaded after each shot. 2. Katana. Few images from Japan's medieval history are more iconic than that of the lone swordsman wielding a gleaming katana. For centuries, these curved, single-edged blades were the weapons of choice of the samurai, the noble warriors who served the feudal lords of Japan and followed a strict code known as Bushido. The best samurai were renowned for their ability to mow down enemies with a single lightning-quick blow, and their swords were often revered as precious works of art. 3. Halidi. Many interesting weapons emerged from ancient India, but among the most dangerous was the halidi, a weapon of the ancient Indian warrior class, the Rajputs. Halidi had 2 double-edged blades connected to the ends of a single handle. It was believed to be a thrusting weapon, although the slightly curved blade could just as easily be used for slashes and parries. Almost like something out of a fantasy novel, those halidi types were perhaps the world's first 3-bladed daggers. 4. Greek fire. Developed in the Byzantine Empire in the 7th century, it was one of the deadliest weapons in Europe. A prominent example of the use of Greek fire was in AD 730, when the Arabs besieged Constantinople. The Byzantine flotilla, almost 10 times smaller, defeated the Arab flotilla only with the help of Greek fire, which had one of the most unique properties, burning in water. This leads us to believe that the weapon was most often used during naval battles due to its destructive power on enemy ships. 5. Zweihänder. The largest type of sword in history, the Zweihänder was famous for its use by Swiss and German foot soldiers to fight pikes. Zweihänders were 2-handed swords that extended upwards of 178 centimeters and weighed between 1.4 and 6.4 kilograms. The soldiers who used these immense swords received double pay. 6. Sodegarami. It was a Japanese police weapon from the Edo era. The sodegarami was a spiked stick that was slipped into an opponent's kimono. A quick twist would tangle the fabric and allow the cops to take down the offender without causing too much injury. Often, one police officer would attack from the front and another from behind, working together to pin the criminal to the ground by the neck. It was an important tool for arresting samurai, who by law could only be killed by other samurai. 7. Falcata. The falcata was a 2-foot-long curved sword used by Celtiberian warriors in ancient Spain. Made of high-grade iron or steel, its distinctive blade was single-edged near the hilt and double-edged near the tip, and was designed to combine the cutting power of an axe with the cutting ability of a sword. 8. Bowie knife. The most iconic survival knife in American history was named for Jim Bowie, the frontiersman warrior who became a leading figure in the Texas Revolution before his death in the 1836 Battle of the Alamo. The knives developed a distinctive look that featured a 9 to 15-inch blade and a clip point, and became all the rage on the frontier. where they were used for everything from skinning animals and chopping wood to bar fights. 9. Ulfbert sword. Beginning in the 8th century AD, the Vikings terrorized Europe with their ferocious raids on coastal settlements and cities. They were forged from high-carbon crucible steel and were renowned for their superior strength, flexibility, and sharpness. Some historians suggest that the Ulfberts were made from steel imported from the Islamic world, where metallurgy was more advanced, while others maintain that they were forged from an ore deposit located in Germany. 10. Huo Long Chu Shui. The Huo Long Chu Shui, considered the predecessor of the modern missile launcher. The weapon's name, which translated as fire dragon out of water, was used to strike fear into enemy infantry, not to mention having a devastating effect. It consisted of a magazine of 3 rocket-propelled arrows located inside the muzzle of the missile, fired at enemy ships in naval battles and land-based terrain against infantry. It was useful as a long-range siege weapon and coastal defense artillery. 13. Maduvu, more commonly called a maru. It is also known as man kombu after the deer antlers it is made of, and is used as a double-bladed dagger. The weapon typically consists of 2 opposite-pointing Indian antlers connected by 2 crossbars that also act as a handle. Maduvu fighters typically use this weapon in hand-to-hand combat situations, where their opponent attacks with a knife or long-bladed sword. 14. Shotel. It was a true sickle sword once used in ancient Ethiopia. Its shape made it extremely difficult to block with another sword or even a shield. The shotel simply curved around it to pierce the defender. Despite that and his fierce appearance, he was almost universally considered worthless. The hilt was too small for a large, scythe-like blade, making it an unwieldy weapon to hold or aim properly. 15. Roman scissors. This was one of many ancient weapons used by gladiators in ancient Rome. It is a very unusual weapon, vaguely resembling a pirate's hook, but with a different purpose. The scissor consisted of a 2-sided blade at the end of a long metal tube, worn over the forearm to protect the user and to allow him or her to defend against swords and other steel weapons. 16. Gladius. Perhaps more than any other weapon, the gladius helped bring about the Roman Empire. Along with the pilum, spear, and scutum, shield, this 2-footed, double-edged short sword was one of the main weapons of the legions that conquered the Mediterranean basin. Its design evolved over the centuries, but typically featured a sharp point and a strong, reliable blade forged from high-quality steel. Primarily a stabbing weapon, the gladius was most effective when used within a disciplined formation, where troops could protect themselves with shields, while making ferocious thrusting attacks against the enemy. And before the last top, give me a like if you found it interesting. 17. Urumi. Urumi were flexible sword whips. The blade itself was made of an extremely flexible metal that, when not in use, could be wrapped around the waist like a belt. Blade lengths differed, but the Urumi could reach a length of 3 to 5 meters, 12 to 16 feet. Due to the unique fighting style, Urumi could not be used in battle formations and was better suited for man-to-man combat and kills.